Hit snooze on the clock? Nope. Keep dreaming, never stop? Yup. Sleep in till tomorrow? Got an idea.
We're talking about the business model that I follow, which is called the dropshipping business model. So I'll tell you guys exactly what it is I do, and hopefully by the end of this talk, everyone has a good understanding, and maybe you guys will be able to start something similar to what I'm doing now. But before we start, a little bit about me. So I'm a 15-year-old entrepreneur, and I started my first business when I was 11, and I started selling sweets at school, which was quickly shut down by the teachers. Nevertheless, they were good sweets. And after that, I started doing a few things online. I was selling on Amazon and eBay and all this kind of stuff. But a few years now, I've started a dropshipping business, which is what I'll be teaching you guys about. And this is what led me to coming to the success that I have right now. So I want you guys to know that the success that I've had with dropshipping is possible for literally anyone, because I'm just 15 and I was able to become successful following this same business. So that goes to show that literally anyone can go ahead and follow the same steps in order to see similar results. But before we start, again, there's many online businesses that you can follow to see success online and create an income. Dropshipping is just what I personally do, but there are many things like selling on Amazon and eBay, which we're not going to talk about now, but this is not the only thing that you can do in order to build income online. So by the end of this talk, I want everyone to get a good understanding of exactly what I do, and if it's not doing the same thing as me, at least take the strategies or what I'm teaching you guys and apply it to your businesses if you have one. So let's start off with what is dropshipping. Dropshipping is actually like a very simple concept, very basic, and the way it works is there's only 4 steps. So how it works is I have a supplier, whether that be in China or the US, and I have a supplier somewhere, and most dropshippers use a website called AliExpress.com. Most people have heard of Alibaba, and AliExpress is a very similar site owned by the same person. And on AliExpress, you can find all types of wholesale deals. So wholesalers, primarily in China, listing all sorts of items. So everything from health and beauty products, pet products, just everything you could potentially want online, you can find on AliExpress for cheap wholesale prices. And the way it works is you have these products from your supplier. You simply list it on our own website, the website you create. You mark up the price, have a decent profit margin. And simply your main role is to bring traffic onto the website, get buyers onto your website to buy the item. And let's say if you were to buy my item, then I would take your shipping address, all that kind of stuff, send it directly to my supplier, and they ship the item from their warehouse directly to you. So you never really see the item yourself, you never touch it, but you're kind of like a middleman, and you make your profit on the difference of the price you've listed it for on your website. So it's a very simple concept, and a few advantages of the business compared to other businesses is you don't have to have a ton of upfront inventory. You don't have to hold like hundreds of units of an item in order to sell it. For most businesses, before they can start selling an item, they need to bulk produce it, and then they don't even know if it will sell or not. They have to test it, and they might lose a ton of money on it. For us, we can list literally hundreds of different items on our website, and without having to pay it for anything upfront, and just see what sells. And if it sells, okay, you've received the money, and that's the only time you spend money to fulfill your orders and stuff like that. And also, it's a very low startup cost business compared to others, because the only cost is just the marketing cost. Your cost to learn how to run advertising online. Which I guess if you already know how to do it, then it isn't really much of a cost. But I want to talk about the few aspects of dropshipping before we go into a bit more depth on a few things. In my opinion, and I've been doing the dropshipping for about two years now, nearly 3 years, but 20% of the actual game of dropshipping is really the website creation, the branding, all that kind of stuff. Because that's very simple to do. Literally nowadays, even a 10-year-old can go online and build a very simple website. So that isn't an issue. It's only 20% of the whole aspect. But the main thing when it comes to dropshipping is learning how to market your products and how to actually find good products. Because if you have a very good website, everything looks good, but you don't know how to sell your items, or you don't know how to find the right items to sell, then you won't see many results online. So, and then obviously it takes 100% dedication from you saying, I will make this happen no matter what. Because if you go into the business kind of, unsteady, kind of half in, half out, not sure if you'll actually make it, if you're not fully committed, then, this isn't really for you, because you have to be willing to take the step in order to see the results. And to be honest, from my personal experience, only when I decided to go 100% in was when I started seeing some good months. Now, I was kind of losing money for 4 or 5 months trying to do it, but I wasn't fully committed into it. I was still if it doesn't work, I can always do this, I can always do that. But when I, fully decided that I'll make this happen for myself, and that's when I started seeing the results. But kind of how it works in terms of the aspect is, let's say if you have a really great product, but you have terrible marketing, a product that's so good it can even sell itself, because it catches people by their emotion, or people just want to buy it based on their impulse of seeing a really good product. So a great product and bad marketing means you can still be selling, not a ton of items, but you can still be selling. But let's say if you have great product and great marketing, then bam, you're doing really good, because you have the right system in place, the right funnel in place, and you can get loads of people to convert. But if you aren't willing to invest time and energy into finding a good product, and you're not willing to invest your money into learning how exactly to market online, how to run Instagram ads, Facebook ads, which we'll talk about in a little bit, then you have to be 100% in. So if you're not willing to take that time to do so, then you won't be seeing the results. So let's start off with marketing. How to bring traffic to your products, and there's a ton of ways to bring traffic to your products. Mostly using social media, because social media is huge at the moment, and there's a ton of potential there, and there's billions of people using social media. And the best time to actually start would be now, because every year the cost of advertising tends to rise. Compared to when I started in 2017, the costs have significantly risen, and they will do year one end, because more people are kind of knowing about the business or similar businesses, and they're using social media. So now would be a really good time to start using social media for advertising. But Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, there's many social sites that you can tap into, billions of people on these sites as traffic. But let's start off with Instagram, because Instagram is actually one of the main websites I use to bring traffic for my Shopify stores. So it's, for me, younger people understand Instagram very easily, because it's very user-friendly compared to Facebook, in my opinion. But little stats on Instagram is they have over 1 billion active users monthly, which a ton of people. And Facebook themselves have released the figures, and they say nearly a third of the people on Instagram are active buyers. So that means every single month they either shop online, or they have an intent on buying something online. And Facebook knows all this stuff about you, or Instagram, because they're owned by Facebook. They say Facebook knows more about you than you know about yourself, because they can literally see everything that you do online through pixels and stuff like that. So it's a main source I use to drive traffic. And inside of Instagram itself, there's 2 different kind of methods you can use to drive traffic, which we'll break down in a little bit. But the first method is influencer marketing, and the second one is running direct Instagram ads through Facebook, because Facebook owns Instagram. But we'll start on influencer marketing, and inside of influencer marketing, there's again 2 different types. One is for using personalities, so celebrities, models, Cristiano Ronaldo, footballers, people like that. That's what you call a personal influencer. And the second type is an anonymous influencer. That's someone who posts cat videos or football highlights, someone who doesn't have a face behind their page, but it's just a page you watch because of their content. With personalities, you want to look at their lifestyle, what is this person eating, where they're going, and stuff like that. So when it comes to the concept of influencer marketing, it might seem like a lot, but it's very simple. What it is, it's basically someone online with a lot of social presence, a lot of influence. So they might have a million followers or 10 million followers, whatever it might be. And this person, because they have such a big following, and people really like this person. So, for example, Ronaldo, whenever anyone sees his Instagram, they see that he's wearing a really cool necklace. They go like, hey, Ronaldo's my favorite person. He's wearing this necklace. I want that necklace. And then people go ahead, go to your Shopify store or dropshipping store, and they buy this necklace from you. And of course, we don't use influencers that big because he probably charges millions of euros.
Yeah.
But yeah, it still can be done that way. So when it comes to personalities, real people, there's a big brand called Fashion Nova, and they sell all kind of fashion and stuff like that. And what they do is they find people online with like thousands of followers, and they tell them, hey, I'll send you some of my clothing, and I'll send it to you for free. You can have free clothes for a month. All you need to do is wear it, and in every single picture, you say, check out my clothes from Fashion Nova. And then people go like, hey, I like these clothes. And then they click on Fashion Nova's link, and then they can go buy their products. So that's the power of influencer marketing with personalities. And it's pretty similar when it comes to anonymous influencers as well. So let's say your favorite cat page. You can go ahead and send this influencer a video of a cat product. So even though it's not, people are looking at the person using it, they go like, hey, this is still a really cool product, I might buy it. Whereas with personal influencers, they go like, hey, this is a cool person and a cool product, I might buy it. And of course, for both of these, you have to pay these influencers up front. So it depends on their size, their engagement, how many likes they get. But typically nowadays, I pay anywhere from like $10 to $1,000 for a post. The most I've ever paid for a post was about $3,000, but that was like on a very big page. But influencer marketing is very simple, and it can be pretty much applied to any business model, not just dropshipping. Because let's say if you're building a brand around like the success area, if you have the Netflix of kind of like success speeches and stuff like that, you can get entrepreneurs online to make a video of them watching your service or whatever it might be. So it can literally be applied to any kind of business influence marketing, but it's very popular in the whole dropshipping world.
Yeah.
And then the second type is through Instagram ads. So Instagram ads kind of work differently to influencer marketing because it's actually when you pay Instagram themselves or Facebook to run ads to their user base. So the way it works is you go ahead and you can tell Facebook, literally on your phones, you can tell them, Facebook, I want you to target people on Instagram who are aged 24, they live in US, they speak English, they like dogs, and all this kind of stuff. So you can get very specific with the people that you're trying to reach on Facebook. Whereas with influencer marketing, you're kind of pushing it to millions of followers. You don't know, where they are, what country they're in. You just throw it to the masses and see if they like it or not. But with Facebook, you can be like really niche down, or Instagram ads, you can be very niche down on who you're targeting, and you can reach very specific segments of people. And actually this past week I was working at Facebook in London, and they literally spend thousands of pounds just to reach like one CEO of a big company. And then once they reach just one CEO, if they get his email address or his phone number, that CEO might spend millions of dollars with them in advertising. So you can get really specific with who you're targeting. You can literally create a group of 1,000 people and spend a lot of money trying to reach this 1,000 people, if you're like really precise on who you want to reach online. And so this is an example of a product, and this is like a dog cleaning brush. So ideally people interested in dogs, and you can choose what country they live in, what time online they're going to be, and you can say Facebook or Instagram, show my ad to these people, and Instagram will do just that. So that's basically Instagram marketing. Two different ways of bringing traffic. Personally, I use Instagram influencers more because in my opinion it's very easy. It's much more easier to understand the concept itself. Or Instagram ads, it's more complicated, even though for some people it might be easier. For me, influencer marketing is what I primarily do. But the second platform I want to talk about is Facebook. Again, a few numbers. They have around 2.5 billion active users, so making it one of the most popular social media sites. And again, similarly to Instagram, about a third of them are active buyers online, so they like recently purchased something in the last 30 days or so, which is quite a ton of people. And also, there's two different types of marketing. One is influencer marketing, and one's direct Facebook ads. And influencer marketing on Facebook is way less common. And I haven't ran many influencer ads on Facebook, and that's not because they don't work. It's just that Facebook is more of a kind of complicated platform, or not less user friendly, to get influencer marketing kind of set up on. So most people run Facebook ads, and Facebook ads is where most of the money is made in the whole dropshipping area, because you can target a ton of people, and it's once you get the ball rolling, you can build up momentum very fast with it. So the way Facebook ads work is very similar to Instagram ads. You can be very specific on who you're targeting, but also one of the great benefits of running ads directly on Facebook is the fact that number one, it's super consistent and reliable. So the way influence marketing works, it's kind of like one day you might make £100, another day 1,000, another time you lose like 500. It's kind of all over the place. It's kind of like cryptocurrency, It can be volatile. But with Facebook ads, it's more like every day you spend 100, you make 200, 100, 200, 100, 200. It's very consistent. It's a reliable kind of source of traffic that you can use. So that's why loads of people prefer doing Facebook, because they like that consistency. With influencers, again, all over the place, and you can't guarantee any results. Another thing is that it's way easier to manage. Influencer marketing, you need to every day be contacting this person or direct messaging this person, emailing, paying this person, and all this kind of stuff, and it has to be done on a continuous basis in order to get influencers to promote your dropshipping products. But with Facebook, it's kind of like one day you create a campaign, and then the campaign produces results on automatic every day. So you set it and you forget it, and maybe a few minutes every day you kind of manage each little bit, but it's more set and forget. So again, that's why most people prefer Facebook. And then another thing is that Facebook has way more potential, because on Facebook you can literally target every single one of the 2.5 billion people. Whereas with influencers, if they're not following a specific person, you can't exactly reach them. So you don't get the full potential reach. Whereas on Facebook, everyone can be targeted. So that's kind of a quick breakdown of Facebook ads. Again, it can be very specific on who you want to reach. And again, not just for dropshipping can you run Facebook ads. Facebook ads can be run for, let's say if you're selling an online course, you want to target people who want to be authors. You can target people who age 35 to 44 and they like book writing, and then you can sell them your book writing course or your how to be an author course and stuff like that. So it's not just for dropshipping. Loads of marketers use Facebook ads online. But there's a ton of other traffic sources which we won't talk about. So there's Twitter, which influencer marketing is quite big on. There's TikTok, which is pretty new, and ads haven't even started running on TikTok yet, which means there's a ton of potential there, even though most of the TikTok users are in India. Then there's Snapchat, there's Google Ads, Google Shopping, YouTube, all this kind of stuff. But what I'm trying to basically say is there's so many different mediums or channels of marketing, but all you really need to do is get good at one single model, one kind of traffic source. You need to tap into one traffic source in order to capitalize on a ton of revenue, because you don't need to be a master at each and every single one of these sources. For me, I'm just really good at Instagram, and that's what I primarily do. But you can literally pick any one of the sources that you want to get really good at and spend all your time, all your energy learning that specific area, investing your time and money into becoming really good in just that one area. So yeah, there's a bunch of sources out there. And my preference is when I was started, I didn't see many results for 4 or 5 months or so, and that's because I was kind of all over the place. I saw people were making money on Facebook, so I went to Facebook, and Instagram, and Google, so I was all over the place. But again, like I said, when I got 100% focused, I said, I'll make this Instagram stuff work for me. That's when I started seeing the results, and really ever since then, I fully focused on the whole Instagram aspect of dropshipping, and I ended up getting really good at it. And another thing is why I like Instagram and the whole influencer marketing thing is the fact that it can be volatile, which means some days you do get really good days. So one time I remember paying an influencer $40 for an ad, and like the very next day he made me 1,500 back. So it's like pretty good return sometimes, and it's not like this can be expected every time, but this is like very possible. And of course, the next time I paid him, he raised his price to 45, and I only made 500 back. So not as much of a return, but still, that volatility is quite good in some circumstances, and especially if you're a beginner and you want to hit like kind of a mini lottery, you can get really good results quite fast on quite cheap advertising campaigns. So we'll move on to product research and how you can basically find products that sell themselves, either based on emotion or impulse. So those are the two ways that people buy. Either a product emotionally strikes them and they feel like out of their pain or discomfort they buy an item, or this product looks super cool, I'm going to buy it anyway because it's cool. And out of the moment they just see it, they like it, and they buy it. So how you want to find really good products that sell themselves is literally by staying up to date with all the trends online. So you won't, for me personally, I always follow like a bunch of influencers, and I see exactly what they're promoting. So it's, is this influencer wearing this, or they're promoting a few times, see what loads of people are advertising. And it's actually kind of common sense, because if you're seeing the same advertisement like 2 or 3 times, then obviously that person must be making money from the advertisement, or else they wouldn't be showing it to you 2 or 3 times. So it's kind of like when you see the same products over and over again, okay, there must be something there. And then as a dropshipper, you would go ahead and find that item from your supplier, and you would start marketing it or testing it and seeing if it works for you. So staying up to date with all the trends is a great way to find products online. I had a friend at school, and he literally knew nothing about dropshipping. All he had was me, and he knew that I was kind of doing it. And a couple of months ago, a trend for like a teeth whitening product was blowing up on Instagram. And he has no prior marketing experience. He had me to answer some questions, but within 2 weeks he was able to make $1,000 in revenue just from that trend. Very very bad marketing. I kind of helped him, but it's still very bad marketing. Not even a very good website, but he still made $1,000 in revenue because he capitalized on that trend. And of course, after the trend went down, he stopped doing it because he wasn't making any money. But it just goes to show that if you catch a trend at the very beginning, when something starts to go viral or blow up on Instagram or social media, and then that's like a good opportunity for you to ride the wave and make some good sales and money from it. But let's talk about website creation and design real quick. And this is, like I said, only 20% of the business initially, because even with a bad website you can sell items, but it's kind of like it is still important. You need both aspects of the whole dropshipping game in order to be successful with it. So as you're starting small, you don't need to worry too much about this, but only as you grow, only as you go on, you need to worry about branding. How can I make myself look more legit and stuff like that. But most dropshippers use a website called Shopify.com, and Shopify is like the go-to place for creating a quick online store, because literally in 2 hours you can create a website. On my YouTube channel, it's called Alex Phillip, I literally made a website within 1 hour, looking like very professional and stuff. So you can easily set up a website on Shopify, and they don't even cost that much to create a website. It's only like $25 a month, but it's free for the first 2 weeks, so it's pretty good. And they also integrate with a ton of other apps and other websites companies to make your store look even better and stuff. So that's why I recommend Shopify if you are like doing really any online business, not just dropshipping itself. But how do you expand on your business? How can you take it to the next level? And personally for me, I felt like sometimes I wasn't doing what I'm gonna share with you right now, and it's like I've missed out on a ton of potential revenue or traffic or sales because I wasn't doubling down on what's working. 10x down on what's working in order to see more results. Because let's say if you're spending $1,000 a day on advertising and you're making back 2,000, so every dollar you put in you get 2. You just want to keep on putting a ton of money into it, reinvest everything you make back into it, it's like a kind of like a cash flow system. You're making more from everything you put in. But what happens too often is that people get so happy with, hey, I'm making $1,000 a day. I'm just going to sit there and be happy with it. But when in fact what you should be doing is thinking, how can I grow to the next level? How do I scale up my business? And it's literally by just reinvesting everything that you make back into it if you want to, go very big. So I know, when I was first starting, about 6 months in, I had a product that was selling really well, and I was terrible at marketing at that time. And I knew, looking back at it now, I know I was rubbish at marketing, but somehow this item was selling itself because it was a very good item. But what I should have done back then was, instead of being happy with making £50 a day, I should have said, hey, why can't I make 100 a day, and just double the how much I'm spending on advertising. So those, as you look back at it now, there's some stuff that you could have worked on. Doubling down on what's working is the best way to expand your business. And literally any business, this is the best way to go about it. So a question I get quite a lot on Instagram, on YouTube, my channel is how much do I need to start Shopify business or the dropshipping business? Because you don't want to kind of go 1 week in and then realize you have no money left to put into marketing and stuff. And you might be saying, why do you need £1,000 to start? And the only reason I say that is, it's not because you'll be spending on inventory or stock or anything. The main cost when it comes to Shopify is literally just investing it into advertising and seeing how that whole game works. Because online advertising, it's not like you put $10 in it immediately and you make 15 back. It's not like you can easy to do. I mean, it is easy to do once you know how to do it. But initially, when you're just getting started, you need to be willing to invest some money into your education. You need to be willing to learn how it kind of works in order to get stuff, build up the momentum and get stuff going. So literally, I would have £1,000 nowadays. 2 years ago, I think I had 1,000, but 500 was kind of enough in order for me to start online. Yeah, 1,000 is a good starting point. You can. What I would do personally is I would spend all that budget into learning one specific platform, so whether that be Instagram or Facebook or any social media. I would spend all that money into learning how can I run ads here and testing out a few different things, rather than spending a quarter on Instagram, a quarter on Facebook, a quarter on Twitter. You don't want to be all over the place. Just stay focused on one platform, because quite often what happened, especially with me at the beginning, was I saw people on YouTube go hey, I made this much from YouTube, I made this once from Google. I was kind of, I was I want to make that, I want to make this, and I wasn't focused. So as long as you're fully focused and you're willing to invest your time, energy, effort into one traffic source, then you can get really good at that source, which is what I would recommend. But yeah, literally, you don't need to spend anything on the website other than that, the £20 or $20 onto building it. And if you're not good at building websites, which is pretty easy to do in the Shopify, because they have the templates, drag and drop editor, it's pretty simple. But you can literally hire someone online for £20 to set up the website, and that's perfectly fine as well. Oh, by the way, if you do have any questions, you can ask me at the very end, or if it's urgent, you can ask me now. But yeah. So yeah, what does it take to start dropshipping in terms of time, time requirements? In terms of time requirements, and for me personally, I think for the last week I was kind of working a 9-to-5 job for work experience, and I know that you will be able to find at least 3 hours a day minimum in order to learn this whole Shopify game. And of course, I didn't have family requirements or commitments and stuff. But still, based off what I did experience last week, you can still find 3 hours a day, I think, to learn this whole Shopify thing. For me, I spent anywhere from 6 to 10 hours a day on school days and weekends just learning the whole thing. All my time is spent on doing this because it's what I'm passionate about, and I don't have to force myself to do it because I actually like doing it. So that's one of the great things about this. But the thing about dropshipping is the best way to actually learn is, rather than spending loads of time on YouTube consuming content or just listening to me and getting all my advice, is actually to go out there and do it. Because if you not actively get your feet wet, see what it's like inside of the business, then you won't actually learn it. So the b't way to learn a few things is to experience it. So if you haven't experienced it on your own, then watching all these YouTube videos won't do you anything. anything. But I do want you guys to know that there are a few ways to kind of start online without actually spending any money or not much money at all. Personally, I've used a few of these methods to generate sales for my store. So I know this is very much profitable and possible, and loads of people are actually doing this if they're kind of a beginner and they're in a third world country and they don't have £1,000, in a couple months. But one of the few ways you can do this is through affiliates. And if you don't know what affiliates are, it's basically people who work on a commission basis. So influencers, you can get influencers online to become your affiliate. You kind of email them saying, hey, I'll pay you 50% of whatever I make. So you keep 50, I keep 50, and then you kind of work out a deal with them. So let's say if you go up to someone with like 1 million followers and you tell them, hey, if you post a picture with my product on your Instagram feed or your story, and you make me 10,000, I give you 5,000, I keep 5,000. So you only pay them if they make money for you, and that's kind of like a win-win situation because they make money, you make money, and that's good for everyone. So affiliates is a great way to start online if you don't have any, prior startup capital or stuff like that. And personally for me, what I did was I got an Instagram bot. So a bot is just like it's not an existing thing, but it's just a thing that does monkey work for you that you don't want to do. And essentially I got this bot to direct message like 10,000 influencers, and I told them, hey, I'll give you 50% of what you make, just sign up on my link. And out of those 10,000, only about 150 signed up. Of those 150, only 5 people actually started promoting my items. But still, one of those 5 people, he was generating like $2,000 a month, without me doing any work. So he keeps 50, I keep 50, and that was pretty simple to do. And then Google SEO, which is I don't know too much about it, but it's basically where you might type into Google dog cleaning brush or something like that, and your product kind of appears first on the whole listing, and then people obviously come to your store and buy. So there's a technique to rank your products on Google. I don't know too much about it because I don't personally do it, but I know that's a good skill to learn. It's a high valuable skill. It's a very valuable skill. And then a third way, which loads of people are doing now, is becoming your own influencer. So normally people become their own personal influencer because not many people like to see their face or anything. But they do post cat videos or dog videos, and people start following these people, and then they start selling dog products or whatever it might be. So that's a good way to build up some free traffic for your store, building your own audience online and becoming your own influencer. And all of these definitely have big potential, and they can be utilized very, very easily as well. So what's the future of dropshipping? And I have 5 minutes left to finish this off. Yeah. So the future of dropshipping, in my opinion, it's all about branding your Shopify store, your dropshipping store, and positioning yourself to become a long-term business. Because dropshipping, it will always be around. Loads of people are kind of finding out about it now, so less people kind of want to buy from us. But that doesn't mean, there's still millions and millions of people that you can advertise to. But really the best way to position yourself for a long-term business, and I'll show you an example of a website called gymshark.com. They started off as a dropshipping store selling apparel and fitness wear and stuff like that. But eventually they turned into their own brand. They started buying inventory. Everyone knows, most people know about Gymshark today because they're a very popular brand. So if you position your dropshipping store for long-term success, as you start seeing results, you buy inventory, you get your logo on items, and suddenly more people will start buying from you. They trust your store more. So that's kind of where the future of dropshipping lies, in turning yourself into a brand rather than staying as a general store. Because people won't always buy from you just a general store. But if you're a brand that everyone likes, you always come back for them to buy more t-shirts or whatever it might be. And then obviously Dollar Shave Club, they weren't a dropshipping store, but they were a Shopify store, and they recently sold for $1 billion. I think it was to Unilever just last year. So there's definitely a ton of potential there in this whole Shopify dropshipping world. But just a quick summary real quick. Dropshipping is very simple to do. I'm living proof. I'm 15 and I was still able to go out there and see results with dropshipping. So it's not like it's complicated to learn. So in 2-3 years, I was able to get to where I am today. And of course, I kind of did stuff online, so I understood it. But that doesn't mean that you guys can't go out there today and start a business, and 2-3 years will be also really good with it. And dropshipping is literally one of the lowest cost businesses. When it comes to like Amazon, you have to buy inventory up front, you have to ship it to your customers, you don't know if it will sell or not. So it's really complicated, but dropshipping is literally one of the easiest businesses to start off with, especially online. And once you get stuff rolling, you get momentum building up, you can easily scale up your business because profit you're making, you reinvest it into marketing and stuff like that. So it's definitely a ton of potential in dropshipping, and especially now is still really a good time to get in, because 2 years ago when I was starting, people were saying, oh, dropshipping is not going to last long, but it's still lasting and working very good now, and I don't see it like going not working anytime soon as well. So dropshipping definitely a ton of potential, and personally for myself, like I said, in 4 or 5 months I wasn't seeing any results. But again, that's a learning cost of marketing. So I was learning, I was losing money, but then suddenly I started figuring it out. Okay, I made £10 today. What did I do right? And then from there, I kind of like built up momentum, and I started soaring up. So it's all about learning, willing to invest your time and money up front in order to learn the whole game, and then from there you can quickly build up and stuff like that. That pretty much wraps it up for me. If you have any questions, then feel free to let me know.
From China, I guess.
Most people on AliExpress are Chinese wholesalers, but there are still like US warehouses and suppliers on there as well that you can get in contact with.
So the customer doesn't have a problem waiting for things to come from China?
For me, I always make it clear on the checkout page. It takes 8 to 20 days, or it takes 2 to 4 weeks. As long as you make it clear to your customer on email and on the website, then they'll be fine with it. Because what typically happens is, for the first 2 weeks, they kind of forget they bought something online, and then suddenly they receive your email, they remember it, and they go like, oh, okay, and then it arrives shortly after. So it's pretty fine. Yeah.
So because sometimes when I buy from Amazon, without realizing, you buy something and you realize it's 3 weeks away and shipped from China or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
So is that possible to do drop shipping via Amazon too?
You can do dropshipping, like sourcing from Amazon. So a way you can go about it is on your checkout page. For shipping options, you can have free shipping, which is when you source from China. But let's say if you have a US supplier, they probably charge you a little bit more because it's more expensive there. But you can literally say to people, if you want your item in 1 to 3 days, just pay extra £5 and then you ship it from your US supplier. So you can work around it like that. Especially like if it's Valentine's Day soon and you want to advertise near that time, obviously you can't sell an item like 10 days before Valentine because they won't arrive in time. So that's why you have like the fast US suppliers, because they can quickly ship to your customer.
How do you handle the customer complaints? Because you are the face, right?
Yeah, so at the moment I have a team, an email team who manages all that. But as long as you have policies on your website saying like 30-day refund policy, or on the checkout page itself, for me, I have like insured shipping, which means if someone pays extra for shipping, we'll reship the item if it doesn't arrive or if it comes broken and stuff like that. So it's pretty easy to manage that whole thing.
So your fallback is on the insurer rather than the supplier.
The supplier doesn't always take responsibility, so that's why you need to sometimes. And products don't cost a lot. Sometimes you get an item for £5, you sell it for like 20, so you don't lose too much if you're just reshipping the same item again. So that's still fine.
How do you mark up your products then?
Typically, you mark it up by like five times ish. So one of my best-selling products, it costs about $4 before shipping, after shipping, from my supplier, but I sell it for 21 on my website, and people still buy it because it's like high perceived value on the item.
So, but even that item takes like, because it's coming from China or from US, is it?
Yeah, it depends on what they choose for shipping. Yeah.
So does it help? Like I'm just thinking, suppose you have does it help to keep inventory so that it can become quicker?
When you're branding, which is what I'm looking at doing now, you can literally ship 1 to 3 days around the US or 1 week around Europe and stuff. So that does help. But when you're starting off, you don't have the capital to buy inventory.
Yeah.
So dropshipping is still perfectly fine.
So what about if it's like you said about tooth whitening product?
Yeah.
And because that is people are going to use inside their mouth.
As long as you have like FDA approval to sell the item, you have certificates from a supplier, which they'll normally provide to you, then it's perfectly fine to sell items like that.
Can you give an example of a complaint you've had to handle?
Yeah, so people say, I haven't received my item, it's been 3 weeks. And then what you would do is you tell your supplier, this order hasn't arrived. And either the supplier gives you a refund and ship a new one, or you just place an order for a new one. You get like normally 1% or less than 1% of orders kind of have issues. But then there's issues you can deal with really.
And how do you combine school and your business? Because that's important.
Literally all the time after school, it's kind of focused on this. On the bus to school, I'm working on this, and the bus on the way back, I'm working on this. So as long as you're focused in school, then you can focus on this when you're back.
Yeah,
And then-
I hope.
So I missed that, sorry.
You need to have an open-minded parent.
Because that
No, because I have a son here that, I say, we obviously want to do well at school, at the same time we want you to be entrepreneurial, and I think it's fantastic what you're doing, but we have to get the balance right. So
Yeah,
I just want
definitely.
to know how you're coping, so, but...
Yeah, outsourcing is key. Whether that be like outsourcing all the order fulfillment or the email stuff, and then you have more time to not do this simple work. Yeah.
You said your customer service. So where's your customer service? Like,
So there's a website called Upwork.com,
Okay.
which is where you find like freelancers, so people in India or Philippines, and they work for like $2-3 an hour, but that's kind of a good price for them, because where they live and stuff. So you can hire people from there.
so that's what you do. You
That's
hire
what
through
I did,
Upwork. Yeah.
through Upwork. Yeah.
How do you guarantee your contract with the influencers?
With Upwork, the good thing is you pay through Upwork. You can pay.
But so the last part you talked about is you're starting with very little. You're kind of saying it's kind of a win-win situation. So if they
Yes.
sell if they sell product to you, make money, and they make money.
Yeah.
And you say it's 50-50 split. How do you guarantee?
There's an app that kind of sets up all that stuff.
So
they-
it's all kind of it becomes legal and legit terms.
Oh, it's not like you have to go through procedures.
Yeah,
They just like create an account on your website,
Okay.
and then they can track what they make or you make. And it's obviously up to you to pay them, which obviously, if you want to be ethical, then you do. But yeah, some people.
So
You're talking about affiliate marketing. That's what
That's
50.
kind of-
That's 50%. Yeah.
It's kind of affiliate
Okay.
marketing, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a software, isn't it?
Yeah, it's easy to set up. Because Shopify, they integrate with like loads of stuff, so you can literally get anything set up on your website. Subscription model, all that kind of stuff.
what's your website name?
I have a few personally. The main one's called thebunnycare.com.
Bunny
It's like
Care.
The Bunny Care, yeah. And it's like a health and beauty website. Yeah. You can create, as many websites as you want with Shopify.
So how do you people know that it's reliable? Because there's a lot of websites which is not reliable, are fake websites and place money out of you. So how do you make sure that people are?
Normally,
Yeah.
because we have like 100,000 Instagram followers, it's kind of.
You have 100,000?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like social
Okay.
proof on the Instagram itself, so people trust it. But then again, there are some fake websites out there, and that's just
So
hard.
do you do influencer marketing for others?
Do I kind of run ads for others? Or,
Yeah.
Well, I kind of teach people how to do it. For some friends at school, I showed them how to do a few stuff. But not at the moment do I run directly for others at the moment. But yeah,
But you can.
but I can. Yeah.
Because you seem to be like, I think your main strength looks like it's Instagram.
Yeah.
That's where you
The whole
drive your
marketing
traffic,
side.
isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
What are the main industry products that you deal in? You said health and beauty. But as in where you see a bigger margin, what do you tend to see there?
Literally like any area. With influencers, it's like anything that appeals to the masses. That's what works. So So it can be some sort of clothing or literally anything that appeals to the masses. It's nothing specific.
So you don't restrict yourself to a particular industry, you're pretty much all out there.
If you have like a new item completely different to like your My Health and Beauty store, then I create a new website selling that item specifically. So, yeah.
So outside of, let's say, selling fishing rods or something, then you have a site
Just
for
for
that.
fishing.
So where would you say drop shipping is in as a business or as a business model? Is it at the infancy? Is it kind of it hasn't peaked yet? It's still lots of leeway to.
Still, loads of people are getting into it now, and people started a couple months ago. Us like seeing results now. So not exactly in the infancy because maybe I've heard about it 3 or 4 years ago. But it started 2 years ago. But it's nearing the peak at this time, I think.
So beyond drop shipping, what do you think is the next thing?
So I kind of use dropshipping as a way to build capital for my future businesses I want to start. So I'm planning to bring around products that are really great products to the world, help people's lives and stuff. But dropshipping is just like a method of building capital to start those businesses. So that's what I'm using it as at the moment.
Excellent.
So you have different websites. So do you have one company as their like registered entity for tax purpose and all?
We're getting it registered at the moment.
Okay.
But yeah.
So if you don't mind, what sort of turnover did you do like last year?
So in my first year, I did about 120,000.
First year is like 2 years back. Right?
Yeah, 2 years ago. So when I was 12, 13, I did 120,000 and it's about 20% profit. But these months, I'm trying to keep consistently 6 figures every month in revenue, and again 20-30% profit is what I'm looking at. But yeah.
Very good.
Excellent. It's 20% is your gross margin.
Yeah. The main cost is like maybe 40% is advertising. Everything else is like product costs, VA costs and stuff like that.
So 40% of your cost is advertising.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on how good your item is selling. It can be less, it can be more.
Yeah, but then he's not buying the product. too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best thing. You don't
Manufacturing costs.
yeah, and you don't
Yeah.
you don't have problems with stock.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you don't have direct employees. You use the
Yeah.
Upwork.
Upwork, yeah. Freelancers. So you don't have any contracts or anything.
Yeah, so it's just you pay for per hour, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you know they take? You have a phone number which they can call and they answer it?
We normally work on Skype. We have a big group, and then we just see
How
what
many
everyone's
people
doing.
do you employ on Upwork for customer service? Approximately.
There's 2 customer service people, and my person who does orders also occasionally works with the customer service team because they kind of go hand in hand sometimes when they free ship an order and stuff.
So all through Upwork?
All through Upwork, yeah. And then I have a video editor, and I have someone who manages like the Instagram stuff who works like 1 hour a day. So about 5 people in total, yeah.
All through Upwork.
Yeah, all through Upwork.
And do you communicate with them every day?
Some of them I don't need to, like the Instagram guy I talk to every day, and everyone else like every few days. Yeah.
So how do you know that, like what they bill is correct and things like that?
It's kind of like trust as well. But I guess the longer you work with someone for, the more kind of relationship you build with them, so they won't tend to.
But the good thing with Upwork is that if they don't perform, there are 100 other people who are waiting for a job with good reviews. So if he gives a bad review,
Yeah.
then that guy won't get a job again.
Yeah.
I mean, like he'll find it difficult.
And then there's the Upwork tracker as well. That's record your screen and stuff. So that's what they use.
Do you give talks amongst your peers?
As in.
Yeah, what you've seen here is fantastic, but in terms of people of your age and around, because I think it's a very positive message. As an alternative to doing crime or but seriously, it's because that's a
Absolutely.
big thing, especially in London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are looking at alternative lifestyle, but you can actually go to school, be successful, have a business, help.
Yeah.
That's a very good message that we need to pass out with.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, it's something that we need.
That's awesome. That's why even your 100,000 influencers you can influence, isn't it? checks? You check all your products that you sell. You test them.
Normally, like when I want to test if they're selling or not, then I wouldn't order them to my house or order them. But if like recently, I had like this little music box item that I was selling, and I ordered to my house, check if it's working, and then just continue selling it.
So what if one of those items you sell and stops working 2 days time?
Then you simply like move on to the next thing. Because at the moment, a product kind of lasts. Some only lasts a week, and then it just dies down. Some last 2 months, 4 months. Typically, 1 month is like how long a good product lasts for. So every month you need to be finding something new.
So your website products keep on changing on
Keep
your
on changing. Yeah.
and you find those products. Right?
Yeah, you have to put time into finding them, especially like brand new ones. If you want to start a trend of your own rather than getting on someone else's trend, like creating your own trend, then that's powerful as well.
So the beauty products, you get them from America? Or?
So some of them have options to ship from America, but most people choose to get it from China because they don't want to pay extra for the shipping.
So now the FDA, so the ones, so the American products are FDA, approved.
FDA approved, yeah.
And so their standards.
Most items you won't like need that kind of certificates and stuff, but some of them myself need to. Yeah.
I'm from Europe. What about like Africa, Asia?
Shipping to like Asia takes kind of more time, even if it's close to China, just because the shipping system's like really bad in India. But then again, the thing with India is like you can have 1,000 people visit your website and only one buy. When USA like 1,000 people visit and like 100 buy. So it's like people don't have the kind of money to buy from those kinds of countries. But occasionally when you do get an order, it just takes longer to ship to them really. But still possible.
How about customs and all, payment for customs and all?
Binge watching on Netflix? No. Podcast, School of Greatness? Yeah. Looking for a handout? No. Got your own biz plan now? Yeah. You afraid of the dark? No. One day you're gonna pitch it to the sharks? Yeah. Haters got you nervous? No. You got passion and purpose? Yeah. Love working for a boss? No. One day you're gonna be your own boss? Yeah. Following the rules? No. Success leave clues? Yeah.